Hi, Mr. Schroyer. I'm
Hi there.
videotaping you. All right, so here's a wire, a battery.
We're taking 1 meter wire, which you can cut with the scissors. We're going to wrap it around the D-cell battery to get a coil of wire, because we need a current through a coil of wire. So we have to produce our coil first. Slide it off the end, and now of course it's going to pop apart like a spring. So to hold it together, we're going to take one end of the coil with about 2 inches off of it, maybe a little longer, and we're going to wrap it around the edge of the coil. That will hold this side of the coil tight.
Can I see that kind of close?
Yep.
Alrighty.
And the other end, I should have left one more loop out. Here's one of the keys, is gravity is not our friend. We want to make sure that things are balanced, top, bottom, left, right, you name it, symmetry. So it's important when you wrap the second side that we want 180 degrees here and 180 degrees there. So you got to get your wrappings pretty much opposite of each other. And we can adjust that as we go. So wrap the other end.
How many times do you wrapping it around there? 3, 4 times?
Two or three times.
2 or 3 times.
Depends on how long your piece is. Okay. Now here comes the tedious portion. You need to be able to pivot this and balance it as you spin it on your fingers. Obviously you can see that wobbles pretty badly. So this one's going to be too long, so I don't need that long. I'm going to cut that off. About 2 inches on either side. Okay. Now the other problem is when I wrapped it around on the top of it, and I wrapped it around the top of it. So these wires are now on the top of my rings. That's going to give me an unbalance between the top and the bottom. So I've got to make sure these wires come out the side of my ring. So I'm actually going to bend it down past it. And then I'm going to hold my fingernail here in the middle of the ring and bend it back. So now it comes out more of the center of my loops.
Gotcha.
So this comes down and then comes out the center of my loops. So that means the top of the ring and the bottom ring should be at the same weight. Hopefully the top of the ring and the bottom ring, you can kind of slide it up or down. And now you can see how much better that thing is. Still got a little bit of a wobble.
Yeah, but that's a lot more stable than it was when you started.
You want to make sure that it rotates pretty easily. Now you don't have to worry about fine-tuning it too much because we're not done with the adjustments here. Alright, so we got that's pretty good.
Yeah, that's good.
We got a coil of wire. The problem is the wire is insulated because otherwise the current would just jump from side loop to loop. So we've got to make sure we get the electricity from the magnet through the coil of wire. So we're going to take our razor blade, and you want to scrape off the insulation on both ends, one side only. We don't want to scrape the entire thing because we want the current to be on for 180 degrees and off for 180 degrees. So I'm just going to take and scrape this. So it should go from that red to a really shiny copper. And go all the way from the end of the coil all the way out. Because it's going, as it rotates, it's going to travel. Now I've scraped the top of it, but I don't really have the sides of the wire. So I'm going to bring it over to the edge of the table. And I'm going to twist it so I can get the kind of the top side of the wire.
But not the back side.
But not the back side. So I'm going to get the top and either side. So I'm making sure I've got the complete top half of the wire.
If you miss some of the coating, that will prevent it from spinning.
Correct, because the current will refuse to. No current, no magnetic field, no spin. Alright, so there's my coil. Check my spin pretty good. It got a little bit out balance, but that's not bad. Alright, so now we take the battery. The magnet goes just on the side of the battery. And then we take our 2 paper clips with the loops, and they're probably pre-bent. We're going to put one on one side. Usually it helps to kind of keep the circle around the pin of the battery. And that kind of keeps them vertical, and so they don't twist. the other side. I'm going to put my loop through the middle. We do have rubber bands to kind of hold the contraption together. It also works with tape, but sometimes I feel it's better just to
hold on to it.
Yep. Now the other key we got to make sure is the closer the loop, the magnetic field of this one and the battery are together, the more powerful they were. So you want to slide these down so the loop just misses the magnet. So you want this height so it spins, but it's just free of the magnet. And this is not going to spin really well because it's got magnet field. All right, so we should be good to go. We've got current through the coil of wire. Now it's just a matter of getting the right balance of the way, because it's off balance a little bit. You can see it spin, but it doesn't really.
Oh, it's going. It's a little
It's trying.
wobbly. It's a little
So
wobbly.
suggestion would be to kind of tilt it another way. That didn't work very well, so maybe tilt it the other way. Oh, I can start to
Oh,
feel it.
you can see it's wanting to.
And once you get it, it should start to.
And maybe we should let them, maybe we shouldn't have this go great on this video and let the students figure it out, right?
There it is.
Ooh, there we go.
And once you find it,
Nice.
now you can see how these are pretty straight and they're not wobbling. If yours are wobbling up and down, you can get it spin better by straightening those out. But there's your little handheld motor.
Woohoo. Thanks, Mr. Troyer.
You're welcome.